Started a little bit of a Griftlands run last week as we were playing through a Sal. We were going to go ahead and continue that. Alright, as we were doing before, our goal is to hunt down Casio. We're at night on day 2. So we can go spar with our friend, we can go to the healing spring. Those are two things that we have that are options that we can do at the moment. We're gonna go spar. Actually, no, we're pretty low on health, so we're gonna go to the healing spring. Yes, so let's gain 15, 10 max HP, and go down to 18. That's not the play. What we're gonna do though is we're gonna get a little tipsy. But nice and healthy. We have not really. Okay, we're gonna go quest. You stopped along the road by an admiral, swinging their baton with some showmanship. They said we could expect trouble on this road. There's a pompous curl to his lip that suggests you're in for a heap of trouble. Best watch yourself. This road is under renovation by the Admiralty. You want through, you're gonna have to pay the toll. Let's see, do we pay him the money, or do we just tell him to go screw himself, or do we fight him? Now we're just gonna tell him to go screw himself. Okay, so we're into the negotiation phase. We are going to bait. We're going to defend our bait. We're going to build up some influence. We're going to punch this guy in the face. So the way this kind of negotiation phase works, for anyone who's never really seen Griftlands before, these intents that the opponent has every turn kind of are telegraphed at what they're going to do. For example, this intent is going to try to deal 4 damage to my argument. The argument that it's dealing damage to those my bait, which I don't really care too much about, that's why it's there. Each person has a core argument, which is basically your health. You have to try to take out the person's core argument in order to win the fight. You can also kind of get these other kind of auxiliary arguments, like I have influence. Influence is what my current deck is based on. It fuels the abilities of my cards. So now you're going to see his intent is going to hit mine. He's going to give me this garbage intent. What this does is it deals 4 damage to my core argument when it gets killed. Okay, so he put up an interrogate. Now this is going to deal somewhere between 2 and 5 damage every round, so I probably want to get rid of this. He also has an intent that's going to deal 6. So we're going to Diplomatic Instincts to get a flatter. But then we're going to use this card, Evil Eye, which is going to double the damage of our flatter, which means that we're going to hit him for a lot. As you noticed over here, maybe when you're watching, when damage hits an opposing argument, if there is overflow damage, it spills over to the core argument. So overkill is the best kind of kill in Griftlands. Then we're going to Boosted Charm. then we're going to in Griftlands, overkill is the best kind of kill, Wolfie. Okay, so composure is kind of like a shield. So if I am going to apply composure to myself in that instant, I now have a 7-point shield, and he is dealing 5 damage to me, so my core argument is currently protected. It's not just in Griftlands, but in Griftlands it's actually beneficial to overkill. We don't have any super expensive cards. We do want to play our non-sequitur to level it up, because every time you play a card, if it isn't boosted already, it gains experience. Then we will Visionary Fast Talk to draw a card. Don't need to apply composure, so what we're going to do is we're going to threaten twice. So you'll notice that some of my cards are red, some of my cards are green. Green cards are kind of diplomacy, red cards are intimidation, and purple cards are intrigue. Yeah. The card names and such in this game are actually very funny for like the negotiation decks. Like Strong Point, it automatically does damage and gives me an influence. Like it's solid. The old initial rapport, give ourselves some more boosted influence. Now, oh, we could just win. Haha, I didn't see how low his HP was. So every time you win a fight, you get to pick some battle cards and such. I'm going to gain 2 defense and apply 1 impair, because impair is good. Do we want any of these? We don't have enough hostility cards to activate this. This is trash. We get shills if we take it. Now we'll just take the 10 shills and not fill our deck with stuff we don't want to use. Then we'll restore some health. I'm a hunter officer. I'm on the job. If there's a toll I should be paying, I have to pass that expense on to my employers. And they'll want a receipt with your name and everything. Ugh, it's just a bit of fun, hunter. Need to get nasty. Be on your way then. Talon steps to the side, refusing to meet your gaze, and allows you to pass. That's right, get the heck out of my way, scrub. Still kicking? Atta girl. How'd it go? You and Nada get all riled up by your hatred of the Admiralty? Mostly just seems like an opportunist. Yeah, well then I'm glad you found each other. There's opportunities aplenty for a crook like him and an arm like yours. Anything you need before you turn in? No, we're pretty good actually. Time to go rest. Someone came in looking for you earlier. They didn't look so friendly. Maybe sleep with one eye open tonight, huh? Asking after me, what did they want? Said they wanted to hire you, but if you ask me, they look like trouble. Sent him packing, said you're out on the road and won't be back for days. Still, I've got blades under the bar if we need them. Rest them back. Head to bed. Something's not right. In the dim light, some of the shadow looks darker than usual. Who's there? A figure steps out of the shadows, heavily armed. If it thinks like an assassin, it slinks like an assassin. This would have been easier if you'd gone to sleep, Hunter. Not too late to shut your eyes if you prefer. So, the runs in Griftlands are very... They're modular, like you can get different quests with different people, different NPCs and stuff, but there are set pieces in every run, and this is one of the set pieces. On the second night, you're going to get attacked by the assassin. But we're going to go ahead and demoralize him first. Do you even know who you're working for? Caring isn't part of the job description. Well, maybe you should reevaluate that. Casio ain't like other clients. Okay, so... So, impending doom are his intents, and what they do is they kind of add existential crises to me. If I bonk him for these, they are going to deal damage to his core argument. He's dealing 4 to me, so we're going to boost the deflection to armor up. Then we're going to get ourselves some influence. We're going to draw some cards to try to get some more influence. And then we are going to hit. Don't have enough to knock out one of his arguments. So but we are going to start damaging this one. What does this do again? Dismiss all enemy intents. Don't turn. So his thing says. That every time I fully block an attack, his arguments take damage. So we're going to Pale Calm to kind of boost all of our stuff. I'm going to lose this influence because I don't see a way to gain any more composure on it. But we'll see what happens. I could just dismiss the intent to keep the influence. I wonder if that's worth it. Okay, so we're going to lose our influence. I think that's okay. A lot of our cards give us influence. And then when he hits us, one of his arguments is going to take damage. Okay. And I did not get a card that gives me influence. We'll see if we can get some with promoted thinking. Alright, so we're going to Incept Vulnerability. What that does is that it makes my things do more damage. Gain 2 influence and deal half. So we're going to have to do this to gain some influence. So it's not the best. Then we're going to get that and keep our cool to double it, so now he's going to hurt himself twice. $17. We don't want to take 17. Taking 17 seems bad. So we're not going to do that. No bait, huh? What does Bluster do again? Reduces damage. So we're going to give him a little bit of fluster. I'm gonna boost our charm and get none of it. Okay. We don't get enough to do any of that. We want to keep our influence this time. So we are going to trounce all of their intents. Bye-bye intents. And then we're going to just hit this with a simple boosted threaten. We want to kill these, because if we take out these side arguments, what they do is they help us in the battle phase by giving them existential crisis. Who doesn't love a good existential crisis? So, this time, we have the way to protect our influence. we're gonna do some fast talking. I should have done this in the reversed order to draw this card first, but that's fine because it didn't make that big of a difference. Okay, so we are starting to gain fatigue, which means we don't get XP anymore. This prevents you from just dragging out the fight and getting yourself like infinite XP on items, on cards and stuff. And what we are gonna do is we are gonna flatter and start punching all of his arguments. That way, when we threaten, we can pop that. And we are gonna take some pain this turn, but that's okay. We are losing our influence, but just gain it back right away. It is core argument. Get some bait. We're going to get ourselves a tall observation. Just slowly whittling him down. Draw some cards. Evil Eye. The boosted threaten. And then we just don't have enough mana, which in terms of action, finish him off this round. We're going to lose our influence and take a hit, but that's okay. We have the win in 2 cards. Alright. Pick a battle card. We don't really have too much that does improvise. No, we're good. Negotiation. Seems silly. Doesn't really help. Actually, that could. It removes composure. This is really good too. This will duplicate our influence. We're gonna take that one. Gain the metal, gain the health. Rush the assassin. Alright, so most of this guy's stuff just deals a ton of damage. He starts with existential crisis, which means his panic meter is higher than it normally would be. Alright, so we're gonna immediately get our deep stance, so that our counter attacks when we counter wounding him means that we do more damage when we hit. We're also gonna gain some defense and counter. And we're gonna hit him and gain some defense. Now when he shoots us, we counterattack and he gets a wound. Okay. Alright. So we're going to assault. We're gonna bleed him twice. Get our stacks of bleed in. Then we're gonna give ourselves some defense. And then we're going to gain some more counter and defense so that when he hits us, we hit him back and wound. Notice that his existential crisis continues to stack up. That was why we did our negotiation ahead of time. We're gonna spines. Then we're gonna keep the bleed up. Now he's shooting us a whole bunch, so now is gonna be a good time to try to get us some counter. We're gonna tackle him. Because when we got our spines, now every time we gain defense, we gain counter. We're gonna feint. And we're gonna savage lacerate. Now when he shoots us a whole bunch, we're gonna hit him a whole bunch of times on top of it and stack up wounds. Notice as now he's got these 6 wounds, which means our attacks are going to hit very hard. Apply defense and heal 1, giving us some more counter. Give him some more wound and bleed. And then we're going to overextend ourselves, which means that now he's going to surrender. We could execute him, but we're not going to do. Whenever you attack, gain 1 combo. Unfortunately, we're not a combo deck. We're not a combo deck. Discard a card, double the damage on a random card in your hand this turn. I think that's the one. We have been getting all of the intimidation cards this run. But we'll take the white lies. Now we can upgrade our cards, because like we said, when you play your cards, they level up. 7 defense and expend. Expend is good, gets it out of my deck. Pale Spines is easier to play, it only costs 1. And then we have lots of ways to generate bleed, so we're gonna up the bleed. Okay. Is that the stranger I told you about? You alright, kid? Kaisho sent them. Typical Kaisho. Leaving others to clean up her mess. So, we can get this guy to like us, and that gives us bonuses. So, we could just have Fish murder him for us, but we're not going to do that. Gotta say, kid, seems like a bad idea. Imagine the look on Cassio's face when she finds out her assassin failed. Sure, satisfying. Let's hope it doesn't come back to haunt us. Now I gotta go back to booby-trapping the bar in earnest. Fish stands guard by your door for the rest of the night. Catch up on your shut-eye. Enemies no longer panic. That's horrible. Now you only fight to the death. No thanks. This one. Gaining actions at the cost of less kind of like options when you upgrade. Easy choice. When you wake up, you'd almost think the grog is beginning to look homey. You hadn't almost been murdered in it. I have a job for you later if you're interested. She turns back to her bar and flips the switch. Clearly, been dismissed. Back out into the world. We can go to spar at the Hesh outpost. We don't really need any mercenaries, but Nadin has a mission for us, so we're gonna go over here. Well, Nadin, what extra legal shenanigans do you want me to get up to today? Don't know if I appreciate you making light of the work we do here, but as long as you get the job done, I guess I can't complain. Got 2 jobs for you today. Pick the one where you'll be the most effective. So we can either do shakedown, which is a negotiation task. Both will get us a graft. I like negotiation more than I like combat. So we're gonna do the negotiation one. The Admiralty have gotten a hold of the antiquity and they want to gift it to the cult to butter them up for negotiations. Let's sour that butter, shall we? Want me to steal the antiquity? Steal it, destroy it, whatever you like, so long as the Admiralty can't profit off of it. Good to me. Antiquities are dangerous ancient tech. My family used to dig them up for a living. The Spark Barons keep everything dangerous for themselves. Likely this is just some old knick-knack to decorate a priestly pedestal. Good enough. To the shakedown. And we get stopped along the way. Greetings. Are you interested in buying a genuine ancient antiquity? Truly invaluable piece of history. These all look a bit homemade. No, believe me. All my items are absolutely authentic. Doesn't even let me see what the relic is. Do I want to haggle to gain a bit, just to save a little bit of cash? Nah, let's just take it. You hand the money to Tact and she passes you the alleged relic. Clearly glad to be rid of it. You're gonna love it. A real accent piece. You've handled antiquities all the time growing up. You can tell at a glance it's nothing more than pretty garbage, but it might convince someone. Truly a bargain at any price. Find the route Nat had mentioned and lurk out of sight. It's not long before the ostentatious caravan approaches. The caravan is escorted by a few guards and Luminari, the most dangerous in the group. Let's rest a moment. We've traveled all day and I wish to reflect in prayer. As you like, Luminari. You hold your breath and wait. The guard begins to sharpen his weapon on a leather strap. I'm sorry, but I can't focus while you work. I'll seek solitude in the forest. I'm sorry, Luminari. I can... No, you have your duties and I have mine. Guard the relic, please. Why, greetings! Old citizen, this is Admiralty business. Just a question, my good fellow. Do you keep the faith? Do you walk in the shallows? We could fight, but you just ask. I was in Groutbog where I made a frightful discovery. Several recently unearthed relics were fakes. Spark Barons told me they'd just sold one to the Admiralty and I knew you had to be found. Fakes? The Sparks Barons assured us it was perfectly authentic. So you do carry the relic. Well, I could certainly examine it for you to be sure. Okay, so we're back to negotiation. We're going to get our initial rapport and get our influence. And we're going to improvise. Apply 5 composure. Shields ourselves from this. And then we're just going to deal a bunch of damage to that core. So what all the Admiralty do is they like to plant evidence, and which deals a lot of extra damage to your core arc. but we're going to kind of bait them, apply a bunch of composure to it, give him a little white lie, which is going to deal damage for us, and then we're going to fast talk him to draw. Gonna flatter, because flatter is gonna knock this out and deal a little bit of damage to the core argument. Pale calm, and then we're gonna deal some damage, and then just make sure that our bait lasts for as long as it can. Keep getting some XP in our non-sweater. And we'll draw. Give him some more white lies. If this duplicates this, we're in trouble. If this duplicates anything else, we're golden. Yeah, duplicated our influence. Look at us go. Shield our bait. Pass the turn. Okay. So we're going to Diplomatic Instincts to get ourselves a flatter. We're going to Evil Eye. Make the flatter deal a ton of damage. 9 damage coming in's a lot. Don't really have any way to block it. Might as well keep hitting him. This is gonna hurt a little, but that's okay. And then we just got him with the intrigue. Pick a battle card. We don't really have many ways to improvise, or this might be good. And we have 2 ways to improvise not in our deck already. So we're just gonna decline and take the money. Tactical Mind is very good. Upgrade our Keep Cool. Keep Composed. Your graphs that you kind of implant in your head also upgrade. We know we bought a fake. The old switcheroo. The Spark Barons were mistaken. Wouldn't be the first time. Still, that's a relief. I exist to serve, officer. Now I must return to my calling. Good day. You duck your head and exit the caravan before anyone can look too closely at the relic that you left behind. Alright, job well done. Walk back. Nope, of course not. As you're walking down the road, you notice the same merchant you met earlier. You holler and wave as you jog towards her, but she doesn't look all that pleased to see you. Hey, hi, it's me. Oh, you're back. Take it you're pleased with your purchase. Actually, I might have something you would like. That's so. Not a very big buyer. I suspect you'll want to read it. Okay. So 4 damage coming in. Only a little bit of influence to get. So we're gonna put up a whole bunch of our own intents. We're gonna Pale Calm them to try to give ourselves as much armor as we can. We're gonna basically play out the majority of our hand. We're gonna White Lie to get that passive damage coming in. Then we're gonna deal a little. Keep our bait alive. Might as well. We'll pay the 10 to try to take this out. And we did. Duplicate a friendly argument. We got our influence. That's good. Defend our bait. Diplomatic instincts so we can flatter. Flatter will take out this argument and deal a bunch extra damage. Don't really need to do anything else, so we won't. Boy, either take 8 damage or pay 15 shield. We'll pay the money. Boosted charm. Initial rapport. And then we're going to diplomatic instincts, but this time we're going to complement. Because they only have 1 intent and this is going to deal damage. Only 6, but it would have been 1 more than the other one. No kickbacks today. A tall observation. We definitely need to draw some more cards that deal damage. That will keep on pecking away. We're getting that passive damage going. We have these strong points that kind of hit as we go. But we don't have anything that does a big punch. That'll deal enough though. First, I guess, is not the worst for us, and that was a rhyme unintentionally. Drain resolves an 8, kind of is like a heal. Free is good. We like free. Unlike the treasure you sold me, this is authentic, and with the auction coming up, well, I could really make waves with a relic like this. You'd sell it to me, really? Just be glad I decided I like you. I am, Grifter, I am indeed. Tack grips the relic gladly, her eyes shining. Back to our boss. You're right, the antiquity was just for decoration. Just as I thought. Do you have it? Not exactly, but the Admiralty. Good enough. If the Admiralty don't have it, I'm happy. Well, not happy, but at least I'm not angry. We get paid, we get our stuff. Get a graft. All cards gaining 1 minimum damage is pretty solid. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not happy, but at least I'm not angry. Okay, so we've got some opportunities. Well, friend's in trouble. Don't want to lose our bonuses, so I guess we'll go try to save our friend. Fine Uni under Urkel's heel, looking one blow away from the worst day of her life. Make enough of a racket to draw Urkel's attention, and he looks up at you with wide eyes. Sal? So we can convince him to leave, or we can just beat him up. We haven't fought in a while. Just try to fight a little, get our battle deck a little bit upgraded. And this isn't ooh, armor piercing. Oops. If this hits on this, that's going to be very strong. So we're going to discard this stab. We did hit on it. Okay. Now we're going to assault and play this card twice. About as good of an opening as we could have possibly had. We're already 10 damage away from knocking this guy out. We're going to overextend. And we've already won the fight. I accept your surrender. Oh wow. Bonus damage equal to twice the cost of your hand. We have some pricey cards in our deck. That could be interesting, but it costs 2, and I hate that. We're gonna Waylay. Waylay is a good one for us. Remember how I said we didn't have any damage cards? Well, here's our damage card. Apply 2 wound to a random enemy. Stop, I won't go anywhere near you or Yunny again, alright? My grudge dies here. That's a deal. Break it and I'll break your neck. Now get lost. Urkro slinks off. You'll be lucky if he makes it back to town. Thanks, Sal, you actually saved my skin there. Least I could do. Come on, let's get you somewhere safe. Okay. We don't, again, we have our same few limited options. But when we have the extra ones, we take them because the extra options along the way are fun. Fish looks worried, but you'd be worried too if your bar was smoking. Alright, Fish, we have a problem. Some of the supplies I need to finish this up are contraband, apparently. I see where this is going, but I don't know how to stop it from getting there. Want to be gently shook from your slumber by a new assassin each night? Need you to head down to the docks, grease the wheels, else this'll never get done. Go for the docks. Guess that's where I'm going. Feel free to take my bouncer with you. Might take some convincing, though. So we're gonna ask him to help us. Hey there. I guess that's Zit. Fish said you might be able to help me solve her supply problem. Did she now? You're her employee, right? So you do jobs for Fish in exchange she pays you? This would be another one of those times. Fish and I have a very specific understanding of what is or isn't my job. Make it worth my while and we can talk. So we can either pay him or we can convince him. And we're just gonna go the cheap route. Alright, so lose to deflection. Good old white lie. Initial rapport. Then we're gonna do diplomatic instincts to get compliment to gain more. So this crafty is, if you look, is kind of like this cat-shaped kind of icon, means that we don't get to see what he's doing. Alright, hail calm. Might as well do this now. Double the composure on all argument. Fast talk and draw a card. Oh, we should have got our bait first, but that's okay. Actually not going to use our bait because this is going to deal damage to him twice when he attacks us. Okay. Wide deflection. Promoted thinking. That's all observation. And then just a simple fast talk. And turn. Okay, so we're gonna boosted charm. We didn't get anything, that's fine. But then we're gonna do this to double our influence, because then when we evil eye into rapid fire, remember how I said we didn't have any cards that dealt damage? We now do. Never gonna have this as our only card. We don't have enough discard. This seems silly. Don't need any of those. Don't need any of these. Upgrade the evil eye. Free is good. Free is good. We'll get the stuff for Fish, and then the bar is safer. The bar is safer, then your job is easier. A little bit of effort now for a whole lot less effort later. Make sense? I guess that makes sense. Well, I gotta say, too much of my job these days involves keeping your scrawny butt safe. That must be very hard for you. Whatever, lead the way. Do we want to go to the market first or after? Let's have a look.
Sehun. Piotr Key. Papia Kieti. Boa Benedict.
Do we have any cards we want to get rid of? These stabs never really get used. Anything really good? Waylay is pretty good. I already have a Waylay though. See what the other people have.
Shukuteka.
This isn't very good for us. But nothing that's really great. Any graphs that are... We have one negotiation slot. None of those are great. To the docks. It's dark when you arrive. The docks should be closed, but they shimmer with activity. It's not long before you spot a ship from the... Is that Rollock? It's moored in the harbor. No doubt there is a quarantine in place. The guards on duty approach you. Who's that? Show yourself. Howdy, officers. Just me, your friendly neighborhood hunter. Oh yeah? Doc's closed, hunter, especially to you. Got a Rollock shipment, and I bet you'd hate to be the one to test its quarantine. Not that one. Let's talk our way through. What's it to you if I get sick? Just look the other way, Switch. Just listen, okay? Okay. This is actually a really good opening hand. Initial rapport. Tactical mind. Bait. Protect the bait. Then... we're just gonna hit him for 6 or 7 because of our graft. And turn. Little white lie. We're going to duplicate a random friendly argument. Okay. Lots of card draw. We're going to diplomatic instincts to get a compliment. See what it does. Alright, dealt 4 there. Might as well take this out. Then we're going to healing up. Boosted charm. Draw a card. Mute the mic so I don't blow out everyone's eardrums sneezing. Coded thinking. Concept of vulnerability. Hail evil eye. Start the machine gun. Oh, we picked up that rapid fire. Interesting. Your attacks deal the max damage. That seems interesting as well. Let's get the footwork. Another solid point. That one. Free. I'm a hunter. I can take care of myself, and this is a waste of all of our time. You know what? Fine. Go on through. Any luck, you'll break out in putrid warts, and then I'll be laughing. Ugh, I hope not. You make your way onto the deck of the Rollock ship. Come across an Admiralty officer neck deep in a debate with a Jake Steve. I don't even know what that means. The glint of a small box catches your eye from a pile of contraband. You recognize it as the goods Fish needs. I don't care what schedule you're on. That ship stays in quarantine. I've got other ships to unload. What am I supposed to tell the Hessian? That they should delay the auction because their goods are held up? You let more ships in, and that's exactly how infection spreads. Or are you too much of an ignoramus to follow? You figure this is a good time to break the tension. That is a big resolve pool. Cut a side deal or end the quarantine. We're gonna cut a side deal. I'm fine, but that package right there, what do I have to do to snag it off of you? Listen to the grifter. Okay. Looks like we didn't get anything major at the beginning. Don't want to use this yet, even though it'll deal a bunch of damage, because we want to keep our influence for now. Apply some composure. Apply some composure. And these pale lies are going to stack up nicely. Duplicate this influence. Gain some composure. Apply and double. Then we're gonna take out this nice. Always good to add a little bait. Drain the resolve. A little flattery gets you places. We didn't need to use our better reaction. End of your turn, take 2 resolve damage. Spend this card. Okay. Tactical mind. Hit and draw. Use that influence. We're gonna keep our bait alive. Okay. So now we're going to get our report. And then rapid fire. And it wasn't enough to take him out. We're gonna take a little bit of damage, but it's not that bad. Alright. Just like that. Already have one of these, don't want to have too many. Don't really have any combo. You do bleed though. Build rapport. Free is good. All cards gain 2 minimum damage. Sign me up. Alright. You better listen close. You've had a long day saying no. Just say yes for this one thing. You'll feel better, I promise. Ugh, you grifters have a lot of nerve. But if one package is all you want, it's easy enough to give it a simple inspection. Typical. Exceptions abound when someone with power and influence walks through. Power and influence? You mean me? This package is unusual, but I can release it to you, Hunter, assuming your license is in order. Oh sure, sometimes I forget I have this. Looks above board. Be sure to register if you can construct this into any, I don't know, weapons or traps. Those require different paperwork. Oh yeah, totally, no problem. You almost make it when you hear a gurgling from across the bow. Hi friend! A hulking beast heaves itself out of the water, shaking off droplets that sizzle on contact. Spots rushes to your side, his mouth twisted in anger. I knew it! Hunter, you're officially deputized until this monster is destroyed. Well, hell. Big life pool. We can get a lot of bleed stacks in. Gain 1 power whenever an ally dies. Okay, so we don't need that. What we do want to do is apply bleed, then apply more bleed, then apply wound, then apply more bleed, and then hit him for good measure. We're gonna all take a bunch of damage, but that's okay. We put up 18 stacks of bleed, which is gonna tick damage over time. Whenever you apply bleed, heal. Okay, so we're gonna hemophage. And we're gonna footwork and discard this expensive card to be able to just play in our hand. Gain 1 counter whenever you gain defense. Play. And then we waylay to gain defense and counter. Okay. Blade Flash. Overextend. And then we get a bunch of defense and counter. I mean, we kill that, which makes him stronger, but... Fight dirty. This will gain the counter. We use this, it leaves our deck forever, which is a good thing. Slowly but surely. Oh, where have you been my whole game? Counterattack, supply wound. Counter, gain counter. Apply some bleed. Apply bleed. Apply impair. Improvise. That would. We'll do that anyway. Apply more wound. Okay, this is deal. So all this wound that we've been stacking up is meaning our allies are doing a ton of damage. So I think we can actually end the fight if we assault, overextend. Yeah. Now our ally is going to wipe them out. Heal. Gonna blade flash. Then we're gonna play this because we can. End our turn. Watch as our buddy shoots the thing into oblivion. Easy fight when your deck works well together. We don't have combo. Don't really draw cards. We don't improvise. We'll just take the money. So this card is mostly going to be free. This is a game winner, though. Double our influence and then rapid fire, but we'd have to have both in our hands at the same time. This is just a much safer card to take. Ambush is good. Ambush means it starts in our hand. Boosted. And then rooted, which means that it always does like a maximum damage. We don't get the options on our battle cards because of the good graph that we stuck in our head. Don't really want this. Maybe we do. Two power. Sure. Never seen a Rolochian aberration quite like that. I was lucky you were here, Hunter. You can keep that parcel as payment. I'll turn a blind eye to its contents just as long as it's not from the rollout, of course. Thoughts rallies his troops for a cleanup brigade. Away we go. We return. Now we go to the roadside market. because we can go to this guy.
Kotamoki. Tienmosi.
We can drill new holes in our head to add graph slots.
Kosheso. Kashalmie. Petoshake.
We still have room for one slot of each right now, so we don't really think differently. None of these help.
Satalapa?
Give Fish the package. Here it is, Fish. One box of pure contraband. Just make sure to wash your hands.
Sho Toti?
Wash my hands, why? Don't worry about it, it's probably fine.
Shipateki.
You look good with a few extra warts anyway.
Osotena.
You're a good kid, Sal. Now go on. Get some rest. I'll get to work on this bar. We'll go get one more slot drilled into our head, just for good measure.
Titeshopia. Timanapo. Sotsipe. Pekosuna.
What's the worst that could happen?
Sashama Papal.
Owl rest in the back. Fish disables the alarm long enough for you to slip through the curtain. Home at last. Your bed calls to you. Something about the sunlight here feels murky and thick, like a sludge tide. There's no use sleeping in. You only just got back in the Griftlands, and already you've made yourself an enemy too powerful to ignore. Draw one extra card at the start of negotiation. You come out of your room this morning. Fish looks noticeably uncomfortable.
Kishotis?
Hey, Sal, a visitor.
Shubeposu.
Oh. This is a good setup you have here. Booby traps and Fish with her eye on the door. Not bad for a derrick. Both the offshore living platforms and indentured labor. Right, that's like a think of it as like a platform.
Piazza Soso.
Nice to see you too, Nadin. You want a drink? Maybe next time. Time for you to prove your worth. I've got a big job for you. Needs your full attention, so come to me when you're ready to focus. Do this and do it right. I'll help you take down Casio myself.
Kautsukia.
So tomorrow's the big day, is it?
Katekimina.
Better get ready for it. Got a couple more jobs you can do to prepare. Find me when the sun goes down. I'll tell you what you need to know. Okay?
Toshanaka.
Do that. Alright, yeah, that's right. So they ask about the job. Literally, she already put them on. Okay, so what do we have for options? We'll probably do one more job and then we'll call it. Hit the beach. It wants you to clear out some beasties from a desolate beach. Jason, smuggling. Wally needs you to safely escort one of her smugglers to the buyer. What did this? Just money. Restoration. Pick a graph from a random draw. Healit wants you to beat up Cobb, but keep the violence covert and be careful to not kill him. We could do that. Trapezing through the road's side bush, you find two dead bodies slumped against a partially dug grave. One of them still looks to be clutching a valuable coil gun. Interesting. Finish the yeah, so we can steal this gun, which is okay. Or we can boost our max resolve because we have a clear conscience for burying the bodies. Feels like the play. It's hard to believe that Helit has a reputation for being a bit of a Casanova, but then, you always were immune to such charms. Another day in the feud, hmm? Eternal affair. Here you have a problem that needs rectifying. I'm a hunter. I can help with that. This could use a professional touch. I have this colleague, Cobb. He's always undermining me in front of the officers. I think he'd be happiest if I wound up dead in a ditch, and he wound up claiming my bunk. Is it a nice bunk? It's next to the window, has a nice view of the less sludgy part of the bay. I'd like to shut Cobb down myself, but there are rules about infighting and punishment to match. But those rules don't apply to you. Where the goal is to not kill him. Got it. And offer you the basic blisters and bruises package for a steal. That kind of violence falls well within my job description. Just give him a good scare. You can rough him up too a little. But do not kill him. You do that and there'll be an inquiry at best. And at worst, they'll have to take Cobb's patrols. What? Why are you looking at me all funny like that? We can intimidate him, or we can beat him up. We can intimidate him, or we can beat him up. Doesn't look like there's anybody we can pay this guy to help us beat the crap out of him. Oh. Do we fight him, or do we try to talk our way through? This is he's got a lot of resolve. I think we could take him. We had a few enemies, you know that? Sure I have. Wouldn't be worth my salt otherwise. You, hunter. Okay. What do we want to do? Initial rapport. Gain our influence. Might as well play that. So we got 7 damage coming in. Boosted deflection. Now we can pop ourselves up with armor. I think is what we're gonna. And then we're gonna start taking down this giant health pool. Draw some cards. Oh man. At least we're going to be able to duplicate it. When we lose this one, we still lose this one. This will mitigate some of that pain that's about to come in. A lot of cards in hand, huh? I guess we'll get some bait. We could defend the bait, or we can just use this. And then make sure our bait stays alive anyway. Draw a card. Get some poker. Tail mine going on. These matter. That's gonna hurt a little, but that's okay. We're just not drawing cards in the right order. That's sometimes how card games work. Okay, we now have 9 influence. Diplomatic instinct. A compliment. Now we have 11 influence. 11 times 4 is 44. Not enough. But I feel like that's the play anyway right now. Need to whittle them down, and we don't know when we're going to draw that next. Starting to get a little hurt, though. Armor up. Trying to build that influence back up. That's a lot of damage. Heal up a little. Got this nice boosted threaten though, kind of take him out. Don't want any of these. Our battle deck, I think, is lean enough. Would be great if we were running an intimidation deck. More damage. You want some? Consider this a friendly warning. Someone soft hired me to sort you out, but I guarantee they aren't the worst of your concerns. So behave now, or the next time you see me, looking down on you while you bleed out, understand? Hey, sure, I get it. Burned one too many bridges, and I have no interest in swimming to shore. But an enterprising person of yourself ought to know. Elite is a real piece of work. Been trying to expose this corruption for ages. There'd be a big reward in it if someone were to do it. If you really want me to drop it, your message has been received. I'll drop it. Good. Don't forget it. Job is done, but it might be worth considering that extra reward. Okay, so we've been going for about an hour and a half now, so that's where I'm going to call it for the night. Next time we join in, we're probably going to be able to finish this run, and then we'll try to figure out what we want to do from there. There's a couple of interesting things that have kind of come out recently, and if they haven't been sued by Nintendo, maybe we'll try them out. Take care, everyone. Have a good